Hello, hello. Such a sleepy day today. Should just stream myself sleeping, napping, and doing absolutely nothing at all. That's all I want for this week. A week where nothing happens. Can I get that? That's all I asked for. That's all I asked for, chat. I almost got that. This week has been pretty slow. Not much has been happening. I've been working on a personal project, and that's about it. But I'm gonna wrap up. There is one important piece of news to relay to chat in regards to events which have happened this week. I do not have a plant update, and the reason why I do not have a plant update today is that I cannot access my balcony because I have been taken over by pigeons. If you can't see, there is now an egg in that pot, and there are two pigeons. And we're gonna name all the pigeons today. But I saw the egg and I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't want the pigeons to be in the planter with the banana peppers because they will shit and piss everywhere. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll move the egg into a different pot. So I did. I took another pot, I filled it up with spare dirt, and I put the egg in it. And I kind of like used my foot to dig a little a replica man-made scrape, I guess they call it, because pigeons don't build nests. I'll show this in a second, but they don't build nests. They just kind of dig in the dirt. Because apparently they're called rock doves because they don't build nests. They just kind of fly up into a rock and they just shit out their eggs there. So that's what happened with my dirt, especially in particular. And I replicated their little scrape by just making a new planter with nothing in it. And I put the egg over there. They came back. They took the egg. They're sitting on it now. And then, just hours before this stream, a calamity has struck it twice. Because apparently pigeons lay eggs in pairs. The male bird will sit on the eggs in the daytime, and the female bird will sit on the eggs in the nighttime, and they tend to lay eggs in pairs. So now we have two eggs, both present in the new potter, and you can kind of see their attempt at the nest. If you look in the potter, you can see there's a bunch of twigs in there. I'm pretty sure those did not come in the dirt. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the pigeons have been carefully constructing that modern marvel of a nest by just laying a bunch of fucking twigs, not even on, like, that does nothing. It does literally nothing. That is a vestigial activity that other birds used to do. They used to build nests, and for some reason the pigeon also tries to build a nest a little bit, and all it does is it just lays some stick around the egg, and it accomplishes not a fucking thing in the process. So there are now two eggs. The pigeons just kind of chill, and they take turns. And if I go out into my porch, they fly away. And I'm afraid of the eggs dying. I don't want to kill the birds. I don't know what's wrong with my audience, but there's like a large group of people who actively believe I should like murder these birds and destroy their eggs. And I don't know what I've done to attract people who think like this, but it's a little bit revolting. So I try to ignore them and not reply and pretend they don't exist. But a lot of people genuinely they're just fucking pigeons. They're not hurting anything. They're not eating the banana peppers. If they touch the banana peppers, I'll wrap them up or something. I'll move them inside. But for some reason, people really hate the pigeon. I like him. I think he's pretty cool. He doesn't annoy me anymore. Now that they have eggs, they aren't cooing anymore. So they're not bothering anyone. I don't mind them. But that is the pigeon update. The banana peppers and all the other plants are pretty much exactly as they were last week. Though the fucking basil is massive. I don't know what's going on with the basil, but it's really, really, really big now. Anyways, I have a list. This week I've like I mentioned, this is a lazy week. This is a week of not much. So I've rewatched The Tiger King, and I feel the need to bring this up for two reasons. If you were alive in 2020, you probably remember The Tiger King and like all the hype around it. and I rewatched it, and it holds up a year later. It's not just it's probably one of the best docuseries ever made. Someone pointed out when I said this on the Fediverse that it's one of the only like Netflix mega corporation, like it's the largest big studio thing made in like the last 10 years that has no black people, and it's also one of the best things made in the last 10 years. I don't know if that's correlation or causation, but it is one of the better things that I've seen in recent memory. And I would suggest, if you missed it during the craze, to actually watch it. And I wanna issue a contentious opinion 1 year too late regarding this docuseries. Carol Baskin did nothing wrong. I don't know why so many, much like my pigeons, I do not understand why people hate her. I don't know. Her husband thought that he's so clever. He's going to cheat on his wife with this young girl he picked up off the street. He's going to give her everything she wants. And then he's going to take all of the money and all of the tigers, and he's going to go to fucking Costa Rica. And he's going to dump her ass in Florida, the worst place on earth. And he's going to get away with it, and nothing bad's going to happen. And then he fucking dies. And it's like, well, that's just the nature of the game. She did literally nothing wrong. And she got away with it because I'm pretty sure her dad helped her dispose of the body, and her brother worked in the sheriff's department for the city. So when it came time to investigate, he obstructed the investigation, and nothing came of it. And that just goes to show that her family loved her, and that guy was an asshole, and everyone agreed at the time that he deserved it. And now she's the Tiger Queen, right? So she did nothing wrong. And I would suggest the series as a whole. It is basically like The Forum. It's like a very well shot, well documented, very neutral. It doesn't pose anyone in some horrific negative light. You have an understanding of why people are like they are. You have an idea of what their motives are. Their motives make sense. So it's not like one guy is just evil in it and they're trying to put a hit out on them. It's a very neutral, well-constructed story, and it reminds me a lot of The Forum. And if I had a budget of several $1 million, my people's streams would probably be close to that. That's exactly how I would want them to be. But, you know. She's Sigma. She's a Sigma female. Yes, Queen Slay. I'm not simping. Why can I not say something nice about anyone without it being simping? Am I simping for the birds? Someone's saying that I'm like a stepfather for the birds, my pigeon's daughter, my pigeon's children. Yeah, I can like things, okay, chat. You don't have to make it a personal affront every time I like something. Girl. Anyways, okay. Someone brought this right before the stream. Ooh, should I play that? Yeah, I'll play this first, and then I'll play the other thing afterwards. Be wary of this, chat. I need to doomsay a little bit. The Democratic senators in the U.S. are bringing forward a proposed amendment to Section 230, which I have talked about until I was red in the face. And their proposed amendment is to make it so that Section 230 does not apply to medical misinformation, which is weird. So they're basically saying that the Health Misinformation Act, introduced by Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota, and Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico, would create a carve-out in Section 230, opening social media platforms like Facebook up to lawsuits for hosting some dangerous health misinformation. The bill directs the Health and Human Services Secretary to issue guidelines on what should be classified as health misinformation. So this is fucking retarded. And what they're doing is not like some great mystery. Their idea, the whole approach to limiting freedom of speech in the U.S. right now, is not to just outlaw things. What they're doing is making it so that all information passes through the cathedral, where Wikipedia and universities and journalists are the experts, and they know what's true and what's not true, and therefore it creates an objective standard by what should and should not be allowed. And this is like the testing ground for it, because they can get away with whatever they want in the name of COVID, right? So they say we need to protect people from misinformation about COVID and vaccines, and everyone agrees. All the experts, 999 experts out of 1,000 agree that this information is true. So therefore, there's no reason to say that we should allow people to spread misinformation. It's dangerous. It's literally dangerous, and we need to protect people from themselves. If people believe stupid things and then get hurt as a consequence of their own stupidity, that's bad, and we need to make sure that that can't happen. That's the gist here. And people, for some reason, when they're progressive, they believe that people should be protected from their own idiotic beliefs. And I think that the most American thing in the world, and I've come to this realization, the most American thing in the world is to accept physical danger. And if accepting that physical danger and personal liability increases your freedom. If we say we have guns, but we also have school shootings, are we willing to tolerate school shootings in the name of having guns? The answer is yes, we do. And that's a uniquely American thing. Europeans would never do that. They say, oh, guns, people can get hurt. What about bad people with guns? We need to restrict guns. We need to make sure that they can't get into the hands of bad people or the children or the retards. We need to make sure that those are restricted. And then in America, we're just like, well, if a couple people fucking die, you got to break some eggs, yeehaw. And that's so American, and no other country has that kind of mentality. We have to avidly defend people's right to be a retard and die as a consequence of it. And if we yield on this, we will all suffer as a consequence. So I don't know if this will get passed. It probably won't. It's going to be a bipartisan thing, but who knows? It could pass. It could be the first step of many to more carve outs and allowing the fucking universities to control all what is right and what is not right. Anyways, not to be a Debbie Downer, here is a video of a transsexual driving off a road and being arrested for it. Be aware that the audio, for whatever fucking reason, is mono. Can I change that? Can I be a champ and change that for everyone? Mono. Yeah, I can. I'll make it mono for you guys. Oh, this is fucking annoying. It's only in my left ear. I have to take my headset off my right ear because it's... that's a good scream. Can I full size on Linux? Ooh, no I cannot. Sorry, I deprived you guys of the glory of this video. Look at that fucking... Okay, we have to take a second to look at that car. Here we have a car with the transsexual flag painted on it. And then there's like anime shit in the fucking back window. Most people have like video like stickers to represent their family and shit, like, oh, I have all these kids, right? And then some truly sad people have like their pets, only their pets. And then this person just has like Sailor Moon characters, I think, like, and that's it. They don't have family. They don't even have pets that they want to tell people that they're proud of. They just got Sailor Moon characters just sticking in the back of their fucking their two-door here. See, I thought maybe they had like a back injury or something, because they got all these fucking people over here like inspecting the accident. And medical professionals, I thought, oh, maybe they have like a back injury and they don't want to move them. But you'll see very quickly that I'm actually extremely wrong, because they will pick this fucker up and walk them. Also, I think they're post-op because they're wearing like a leotard or some shit, and I don't see nothing. I mean, it could just be really small. But inspecting getting an overview of what I'm looking at here, I'm expecting a post-op. Might be tucked. It's an expert tucking, though, if it can survive a car accident. This kind of reminds me of the opening scene in Jurassic Park a little bit. It's a creepy night. All these people, you got the big floodlights on, and then there's like the screams of agony, and it's setting the stage. I'm waiting for the Jurassic Park theme to start playing. Oh, you're fine to walk, ma'am. we can have a nice little stroll now. You're good to go.
No, I absolutely, I want all of you to fucking go and die. You are the worst people I've ever come across in this entire life. Don't fucking talk to me. No, I fucking hate all of you. I hate all of you. I hate all of you.
Oh, I guess he's like really fucking drunk, right? That must be what it is. It's hard for me to tell. I just associate this kind of shit with like regular churn behavior, but someone in chat says that he's fucking drunk, and I bet you that's it, because he's like slurring and shit. So he can't stand, not because he has a back injury from crashing the Troomobile into the trees. He can't stand because he's fucking wasted. On the stretcher now. All the police are like, this is kind of fucked up. Kind of funny though. They're that is the face of defeat. I just wanted to get my gash bashed. Why are y'all being such assholes? LA County. LA County! Oh my god. Where else? Where else could this possibly be? Okay, that's our uplifting, our moment of zen after having to read about Section 230 for the 8 millionth fucking time. I'll turn mono off before I forget. Ah, that's the good stuff. Oh, speaking of police, by the way, this happened on the 21st, and this is like the. How many incel shooters have there been at this point? I understand, like I understand now why the police will like put people on certain communities. If I was the manager of the FBI, the most like radical group of people more likely to shoot a group of like go on a killing spree would be like the incels. They really want to kill people for not having sex with them. And the incel thread is really frustrating because they are not receptive to advice at all. I'll read this article and then I'll talk about my experience with them. Give me a second. An incel was charged with a hate crime for allegedly plotting to shoot women at a sorority. The 21-year-old Ohio man allegedly compared himself to an incel shooter. This is Elliot Roger. A federal grand jury charged an Ohio man who identifies as an incel or involuntary celibate on Wednesday for allegedly plotting to shoot women attending colleges and sororities in the state, officials announced. By the way, I didn't know this until recently, but a grand jury is when they get together like people for jury duty, and then they just like ask the grand jury if they think that they have enough evidence to even issue an arrest warrant. I did not know that, and I hope I got that right. But they will literally summon people for jury duty just to ask them if they think the state has enough evidence to move forward with charges. I had never been taught this in school. This was a thing, but I find that very interesting. Trey's Genko, 21, of Hillsborough, faces 1 count of attempting to commit a hate crime and 1 count of illegally possessing a machine gun, according to court documents. He was arrested by federal agents on Wednesday, the U.S. Department of Justice said, and is being held at Butler County Jail. According to the indictment, Genko identified as an incel and frequently posted on a popular incel website, that's incels.is for sure, from at least July 2019 to mid-March 2020. The incel movement is an online misogynist community of men. I guess that's fair. You know, the news likes to describe everything as misogynistic. I would say that it is fair to say that the incels are misogynistic in the literal definition of the word misogynistic. They do hate women as a group. A misogynist community of men fueled by a hatred of women who the men believe are preventing them from having the sex they are entitled to. And that also sounds like a loaded bullshit sentence, but that also is pretty fucking true. It just reads like bullshit because they describe everything in words like this. It's like, oh, they feel entitled, but no, they really do. Some incels have killed in the name of an incel rebellion, which is not the word they use. They use the word beta uprising, but that's a little bit harder to take seriously. Or in homage to an incel shooter who murdered 6 people. That's Elliot Rodger. According to the charging document, Genko aligned himself with Elliot Rodger. In one post, Genko discussed spraying women and couples with orange juice and a water gun at the Isla Vista shooter. As the Isla Vista shooter did to a group of students prior to his deadly attacks, the indictment said. Genko wrote that when he finally did do it, it was Elliot Rodger's birthday. And why does he call... You know, you could just say Elliot Rodger once and stop referring to him as the Isla Vista. Maybe that's like a journal thing. You don't mention their names or some shit. It was Elliot Rodger's birthday, and I didn't even know that. It felt like I was spiritually connected to the saint on that day. He added, describing spraying people with orange juice as an extremely empowering action. And my door has rang. I'll be right back. Dead air. Donga tribe. Donga very tired of being given neighbors boxes that Donga did not order. Donga will now keep boxes. So that would probably be like a sex crime, because I'm pretty sure my neighbor just like orders fucking clothes all the time. So if I just kept her shit, I'm pretty sure it would be like lingerie and stuff, and they would think I'm some sort of like sexual predator for keeping her mail. So I'm pretty sure keeping mail is like a felony. It's like a major offense to keep someone's fucking mail. Anyways, speaking of misogyny, in August 2019, Genko wrote a manifesto saying he would slaughter women out of hatred, jealousy, and revenge, taking away the power of life that they withhold from me, according to the indictment. On the day he penned that document, he also searched online for sororities in an unnamed university in the state, officials said. He said he was going for a huge kill count, listing the number as 3,000, followed by a question mark, the indictment stated. He was definitely not going to kill 3,000 people. He also whined, like, he had been posting openly on incels.is, like, for years, openly stating his intentions to, like, kill people. And it's like, yeah, of course you're going to get arrested, retards. Like, what the fuck do you expect? I don't know. I feel like the feds did their job with this one. I'll give it to them. I don't want to kiss the ass of the state, but you know, a guy is on the internet saying that he's going to kill people. They look into it and they find that he has like a machine gun and had been looking up like where he could kill people at. Like, yeah, you know, that's like traditional police work. He made it all in public, and then when they had probable cause, they looked into it and they found that he had a fucking gun and shit. It's like, okay, well, shouldn't have fucking said on the internet and open forums that you were planning to kill people. You don't need to wiretap this guy's phone and backdoor his like phone CPU to break encryption or anything. It's just kind of out there that, yeah, I'm a fucking retard. I'm just fucking retarded, Your Honor. I'm fucking dumb as shit. I'm dumbest motherfucker. I said on the internet I was going to kill a bunch of people. I had fucked my whole life up, Your Honor. But okay, whatever. This, by the way, Someone linked in the thread that this interrogation of someone called Alec Minazian, who was a Canadian spree killer who used an Armenian Canadian spree killer who used a truck of peace to kill a bunch of elderly people walking the streets of Toronto. And part of his beta uprising. And I've linked the interrogation footage on the front page of the forum, and if you're listening, I'll put it in the description of the podcast episode as well, because it is worth listening to. And I say that only because like it's you don't need like a Jim Can't Swim for this thing to like break it down to its essence. He's like a severely autistic man who was sitting in a interrogation chamber in a Canadian police department talking to a senior investigator who is like 50 something years old, and he's just being like, well, I'm an incel, I can't have sex, women owe me sex, I want to create, literally word for word, we want to kill all the Chads and force all the Stacys to be sex slaves. I post on incels.is, or this other guy posted this on incels.is as a pedis. What the fuck's his name? I knew how to pronounce it until just now. And then I imagined the word in my head, and now it's fucking gone. The word has like completely left me. My brain is like completely blanked out now. I've short circuited. Not pederast, pedius. Oedipus. Oedipus is how you pronounce it. He literally posted as Oedipus, the guy who wanted to fuck his mom. That's who he posted as. That's different from the Canadian guy. The Canadian Armenian guy just wanted to enslave all the women and kill all the Chads. Which you think if that happened, they would no longer be incels, but he wants to make like an incel world order. But you think if you enslaved all the women, you would no longer be an incel. You would be the Chads of that society. So you have an infinite regression problem. Then all the jocks playing football and shit would be like, what the fuck? All these incels run the world now. That's not fair. They're taking all the good girls and leaving us none to choose from. We got to rise up and kill all the incels. We need to have a Chad insurrection against against this incel world order. And since I said Chad insurrection, I reminded myself of a meme. I really, really like this meme for a specific autistic reason. I'm sure you all will appreciate the second I bring it up. Hold up. Here we go. So the virgin vote versus the Chad insurrection. And I really, really like this meme. Not because of its anti-democracy tones, of course. I love democracy. I like it because if you pay very close attention, in the crowd of the Chad insurrection, they're waving a flag, and that happens to be the flag of the Republic of Chad, an African nation. That attention to detail is what really makes a meme to me. That's not the Romanian flag, god damn it. I'll have you know that this is true. Someone has brought up that it's the Romanian flag, and now I have to explain the history of the Chad flag. When Chad was released as an independent country in the 1970s, they picked the tricolor, which you see in the audience, which looks just like the Romanian flag, as their flag. But this was not the same flag as the Romanian flag, because at the time, Romania was a Soviet Socialist Republic. So it featured the Romanian tricolor, but it also had the state coat of arms with like communist symbolism and stuff in it. But then when Romania returned to a democratic country, they took the seal off their flag, and thus were left with just the tricolor, leaving them in a precarious position where Chad and Romania had the same exact flag. But because Chad is a landlocked country, it doesn't have boats, so there's no maritime confusion. If you see a boat that has the flag, it's Romanian, right? And that's interesting because Chad actually asked Romania in the 90s to change their flag because they already had the flag, and Romania shot back very sternly and said, the tricolor is Romanian. And to this day, they have the same flag. So I hope you all have enjoyed that history lesson, explaining the flag in this meme that I saw a couple years ago and liked. What was I talking about? Oh, incels. So, incels, this guy in Canada, right? He's telling this senior detective how there's going to be a Chad insurrection with the flag and everything. They would be waving the Chad flag around as they killed all the Chads, right? And he was explaining how they worship Pepe the Frog, literally telling this man, after he was arrested for killing 10 people with a car, injuring a bunch more, right? Because he hit them with his fucking car. And he's sitting there in this room telling this man with a straight face that he worships Pepe the Frog. and he knew Elliot Rodger and worshipped him like a saint and wanted to kill a bunch of people because he was denied sex. He was an involuntary celibate, denied sex, and the Stacys of the world owed him a croom. And it is actually extremely interesting as an interrogation video without any commentary. Don't watch a version that has commentary. It's not needed. It's like an hour long, and he just sits there and he confesses to the entire crime, even though he's been read his rights, and he tries to stay silent at first, but then he's just so like excited to talk to someone in real life, like to talk to this older man, like a father figure almost, and explain to him why he's so unhappy, that he just completely opens up and confesses to not only killing a bunch of people, but killing a bunch of people knowing that it's a crime, knowing that it's immoral, knowing that it causes harm, that he's not inspired because of medication, he's not haunted by like schizophrenic demons or whatever. Clear mind, clear conscience, understood good and bad, and still decided to kill a bunch of people. It's really fascinating. It's really interesting. So, if I was a Fed, which I'm not, I promise, pinky promise, chat, I'm not a Fed. If I was a Fed, I would take more serious the guys on the incel communities than I would like on Poll. I think investigating those people who are like boog larpers is a fucking waste of time. I would investigate only the sexless men because they are the ones who seem to be the more imminent danger of society. Just my opinion. My uneducated, uninformed, and completely powerless in this instance opinion. My screen glowing. Oh no. The pigeons replacement. No, when the knock at the door. That's what it is. When the knock at the door happens, I get replaced with my glowy self. Okay, so there's also the Olympics. This is also a funny story. The Olympics is happening. You know, when the Olympics is a fucking scam, in case you don't know. The Olympics is a fucking scam. What happens is every so often a country takes upon the burden of building a multi-billion-dollar stadium and allowing the Olympics Committee to exploit them monetarily. There's the promise that it's so great for their, you get all these tourists, all these people coming in, everyone wants to be at your stadium, and all the businesses will benefit and all this shit, right? And it's a complete fucking lie. They go billions into the hole. They don't get all that money back, if any. And in this year in particular, because it's COVID time, Japan already built their fucking stadium. They're already billions in the hole. So the Olympics is starting a year late, which is like the first time that's happened since the Second World War. The Olympics was postponed in like 1936 or 1940 and 1944. And since then, we've had an Olympics every 4 years until last year, because apparently COVID was a fucking World War II level event that required postponing the Olympics. Anyways, they built the stadium. It's happening now, and nobody's at the fucking stadium. So they built this $4 billion, whatever the fuck, stadium, and nobody can come because everything's still locked down. And the people are there talking, and they're talking to empty crowds and shit, and it's just really fucking sad and pathetic. And despite the fact that nobody's at this fucking event and nobody gives a shit, and the people competing are by themselves, and the women are being beat up by transsexuals again for the first time in Olympic history. That's the big development this time, is that men are competing against women, and it's really funny. Then this happens. The director of the opening ceremony was sacked over a Holocaust joke he made in 1998. So like 23 years ago, this guy made a joke. And that was reason enough to fire him from this completely irrelevant role. The joke he made, by the way, is Kentaro Kobayashi, a popular entertainer, was dismissed after a video clip resurfaced online of a skit in which he joked about a game called Let's Massacre the Jews, prompting laughter in the audience. The 1998 skit, which he made when he was one half of the Ramon's comedy duo, was a parody of a popular TV educational program and showed Kobayashi and his partner recounting a discussion with their producer about ideas for a show using paper cutouts of human figures. So he got sacked for that, which I just want you to know that all of you in this chat right now are completely unemployable. They will never forgive you. Your verbal hate speech, your crimes on the Fediverse and on Twitter, your sins are numbered. They are written in the great book, and you have no surrender now. You cannot go back even if you want to. You are stuck with us. You're stuck down here in the gutter forever. There's no don't try, don't give up now, because there's no turning back. You're already written down. Your name, you're already counted. But I was wondering, like, why does this matter? Was my question, and I'm thinking of, like, what is his opening ceremony going to be like? Is he going to be like, ho, did you know that this stadium was made with trees from all over Japanese prefecture? Much like door and gas chamber was made from wood, so is the stadium. And he said, no, that is just a joke. I apologize. What is not a joke was the Manchukuo water purification lab. But nobody talk about that because we only kill the Chinese. And then everyone claps because they're so thrilled by this man's stand-up routine, and our tolerance is set back miles, and it's a watershed moment for our progressive stance as this hateful man brings forth his horrific anti-Semitism to the front of the Olympics ceremony. Josh with his French accent. I tried. I'm not good at accents. I'll get better. I'm going to get a full spectrum and a full autistic spectrum of all the accents I can possibly do. And I don't know, if I did do a French accent, I could do a JF here in a second. Japan was on the wrong side of the war. That's a hot take in this chat room. Han Chinese fear the manch. For real, the only people who seem to care about that is China. China has not forgotten about the water purification labs in Manchukuo, by the way. They have definitely not forgotten about it, and they bring it up all the time. It's kind of weird. If you ever read Chinese news, don't know why you would do that, but if you ever do, I've said this before, but Chinese news breaks down into like one of three categories. It's like A is China is great, B is pandas, C is other countries suck, and there's a fourth category, a special fourth category, and I mean this sincerely, by the way. They will release in equal amounts good things about China, random pictures of pandas for no reason whatsoever, stories about how other countries have failed to do something correctly, and then in equal amounts to those other categories is Japan sucks and fuck Japan. Completely distinct from other countries are bad. Japan sucks. And it's a daily reminder that Japan is shit. Japanese people are fucking awful. And remember the Japanese war crimes. And that is that is the programming on Chinese state TV. But nobody else seems to care. And there's a reason for that, by the way, is that when Germany lost, they got divided up between US, France, England, and Russia. And there was a billion different things at play with ending the war in Europe. But the United States defeated Japan single-handedly. So they got to decide everything by themselves. And what we decided when dealing with Japan is that we would not penalize them pretty much in any way. They would have to accept an American-style constitution. They could keep their emperor. Emperor Hirohito lived to like 90 years old, and he studied butterflies for like the second half of his life. And nobody would get tried with any war crimes in Japan if they handed us all the things they learned using human experiments in China. So after the war in Japan, they basically said, okay, that sounds like a great fucking deal. We'll give you all of our island possessions. We're all going to go free. And here's the shit we learned torturing Chinamen. And we just accepted that, and nobody else had any say in it whatsoever because we defeated Japan single-handedly. So that's an interesting history lesson. Since I'm going off on tangents about history and flags today, that's your lesson for why Japan was spared a lot of what Germany was. It's entirely because the United States single-handedly decided that we were going to spare them. Also, an interesting story is that we wanted the Democratic Republic of China to have a seat on the UN Security Council because we were friends with the Republic of China. And then the Republic of China lost to the communists. So now the Republic of China, or the People's Republic of China, has permanent Security Council access and also nuclear weapons because we gave it to the Republic of China thinking that they would win the Civil War. And they didn't. That's also a fun story. Anyways, Ralph is our next story. I said last stream that Ralph had declined my weight loss challenge, and he shot back immediately saying that goddamn pedophile Josh Moon fucking lying about me again on his fucking stream. I said I'd fucking do it, motherfucker. That fucking pedophile criminal terrorist Josh Moon. I fucking told him I'd do it, and somehow that becomes I wouldn't do it. So I've been listening to him rant about me on his fucking streams and try to set up this weight loss competition. So one of my only thing is I want this to be measured in a simple, achievable way. At the beginning of the competition, we'll go to a doctor, get a physician's note for our height and weight, and I want like an initial over the height and weight and something signed by a doctor or otherwise written in such a way that there's no way he's forging it. I want some level of assurance that he's not forging height and weight on that document, because that's the bet. It's 30 troy ounces of silver to Nick Ricada as escrow. He will verify the height and weight. We don't have to make the notes public. Just he independently verifies the height and weight. And then after 6 months, we do a physician's note again, and that will determine the ending height and weight. And for simplicity's sake, we're not doing BMI. We're not doing percentage of body fat loss. We're not doing percentage of weight loss. It's pounds dropped. It is just pounds dropped, pound for pound, however many pounds. If you lose 100 pounds and he loses 101 pounds, he wins. That's how it works. So you can say, like, I don't care if that's weighted in my favor or his. He thinks that it's a good deal to do it like that. I don't care if it's in his favor. I don't give a shit. I just want to keep it nice and simple. No questions, no fussing. He takes issue with me not wanting to do any videos. I've been trying to keep information about myself off, just to a minimum, basically, for obvious reasons, right? I've learned a couple lessons from watching people put needless amounts of information about themselves on the internet, so I'm trying to keep my profile as low as possible. He says that's bullshit. He puts himself out there every fucking week. Boy, you can fucking... I want one thing. If I do something, I want to be paid. And I want to be paid in pictures of Josh Moon. I want to see them little twinkle toes standing up on that scale. Socks completely optional, of course. And I want to see the Josh Moon, the flesh of the Josh Moon in living color, boy. And that's what he wants. So it's like, okay, I guess I can do a video of me. He says a mask, COVID mask, and Trump hat are okay. So I'll probably use that opportunity to put a COVID mask and Trump hat on and do it that way. And just because I'm not accepting like a video of someone standing on a scale. It has to be a physician's note. That's the whole arrangement, right? So, if that will push him to the finish line and agree to do this, I will concede. I will do the video, just so that there's no qualms and he seems okay with my stipulations that I can anonymize myself just a little bit. People know how I look, but I don't care. I still want to do as much as possible to try and progress into my future without my face being plastered everywhere. So that's that. I think he'll probably cheat. I think I'll probably end up losing because of something really fucking gay. But I am emotionally prepared for that already. I'm not expecting anything fair. I'm not expecting his doctor's note to be an accurate reflection of reality. And I don't know what I can do to even prove that, you know? Like, if I start adding stipulations like, no, Ralph, you have to, like, have Pantsu hold a meter stick up to you and, you know, all this other shit. He's gonna, like, back out and be like, well, I don't want to do all that, so... I'm not going to add any more stipulations. If he gets a physician's note and he sends the money to Ricada, I will consider that game on. for the sake of it. 6 months. 6 months is what I proposed, just offhandedly. Like, we should set a time frame, like 6 months. And he says 6 months sounds good. I'm like, okay, 6 months it is. If he wants to change that, he can contact me. But otherwise, and even if he backs out, if something happens and I get like skeeved out and say like, I'm not gonna do this, I don't think he'll, I think that he's doing something weird, and I don't trust this. I'll probably still just continue to lose weight. I've been losing weight all year. I'm down like 20 pounds from my heaviest. So probably more than that. I think from my absolute heaviest when I was at my heaviest in Ukraine because I did nothing but fucking eat. I still walked every day pretty much, but I spent a lot of time inside and I spent a lot of time eating. And I would only leave the house to go get food. And there was a lot of good food in Ukraine. I ate Georgian food and Ukrainian food and Chinese food and pizza. There was a lot of food in Ukraine that was super cheap, like the best food ever that I've ever had in any country, for next to nothing. So I ate a lot. That's what I'm saying. I ate a lot of food in Ukraine. Then I get out, and I've been losing it by cooking more, eating more home meals. So I will just continue to do that regardless. But if Ralph wants to measure his efforts against mine, that would probably be fun for people. But yeah. Okay. That is that. One other thing about Ralph. Someone sent me this. And he's sending me interesting stories. And I'm not going to repeat them at this time because I'm still in like an investigatory phase. I'm still curious if they're actually true or not. So I'm not going to repeat them until I have some assurance that he's not completely full of shit. But they're pretty fucking wild stories if they're true. So just not to be like I don't want to tease information and be like an asshole, but I'm not going to say it unless I have some belief because it is like really awful shit. So I don't want to say it unless I know it's true. But he did send me this, so I'll just send this as a this is him in elementary school. I want to say I think he's 8 years old here. I want to say this is like 1993, so he's like 7 or 8. And he went to like a Catholic school, and the person sent me this picture as some sort of proof of what he's saying. But I don't know how I feel about it yet. Okay, next topic. JFG. Oh shit! You know what? I did not write down a note for this, but I will get a sip of water and then I'll go over this too. Okay, so I did a stream about the Tranche semi recently this year, and today they fucking kitted up in like this boog LARP shit where they're like in tack vests with like pink radio sets on. The one in the front has like a Star Wars Resistance logo on their hat. They have a ammo pack that says their blood type has a trans like gun flag on it and says she her, which is really, it's right next to the blood type too. It's like you're sitting there and the fascist got you and you're all splayed out and you're like, I need O plus and I need my pronouns affirmed. I'm not feeling very gender euphoric. And then the nurses are like putting in the IV line with like the drip bag and saying, "Oh, you look beautiful today, sweetie. You know, you're such a woman. You're such a goddess on earth." And they're like fixing up the IV, and then the heart rate starts spiking a little bit more because they're feeling better from from the gender euphoria. Their adrenaline's pumping and shit. It's like, thanks. You're a good nurse. You're a good doctor. You're one of the good sissies. But the story is that that there's a trans sister in a terrible situation. Everyone is okay, and she's getting some much needed food and rest. Nights like this remind me of why we are here and why it's so important. So they're all booged out, and they're going to rescue. Let me just read ahead and see if this happened. Pulled out of a sketch as fuck white supremacist den in the middle of fuck off nowhere. Glad to pull her out of that situation. Ain't no heroes here, just folk that care and have a desire to help. Folks out there living through these terrible situations are the heroes. Heroes. We just want to do our best to help where we can. It was a dicey situation in which we had been lured under false pretense and then abandoned. No food or water, a full 2 days walk to town in the area she didn't know anyone. Crawling with bigots. Someone thankfully got her our number. Community looking out. So the gist is that a trans sister was like, I don't know, like stranded in like a Nazi biker bar or something. So they had to like kit up. I'm just imagining it like an XCOM mission. Like it's just these people just sitting at a bar, and there's one. You know what it was is that they went to the bar, right? They're a tranny out in the middle of nowhere. They go to this biker bar, and then they go to the bathroom, and then the guy, the hero, the hero walks in and blocks the female bathroom door and shakes his head and then taps the women's sign on the other door. And they immediately had a mental breakdown and called Troon 11 for an emergency rescue mission out of this den of evil. They just completely collapsed and were immobile. They needed the military unit, the paramilitary trans gladiator unit to swoop in and save them from that. Okay. That's it for that. I don't know. This is all bullshit, of course. So nothing actually fucking happened, and there's no updates to it or anything of the sort. It's just like them tweeting. And this tweet apparently went viral, and I think that they got super bullied really hard on Twitter, and were complaining about all the Nazis making fun of them and shit. But the real news here is that how do you say, Mama JF has left. She does not want to make the white potato baby for the Quebecois stud muffin, so to say, and she has dumped him for somebody. Well, I don't know if somebody else is involved, but JF has put forward to his audience and said to the 2.5 women watching him that if they would like to fight for his undying love and to carry his white baby, they can do that.
Is a day where I'm single. Yes, it was not a clickbait. Mama JF has left, and so I started this this new thing, a Wheel of Fortune type reality TV show. In order to select the next Mama JF, people were suggesting perhaps we should call her Mama JF 2.0. F for the person who used to be Mama JF. She has left me. So people are asking for all sorts of explanations. I will not provide explanations because there's really no interest for me to...
She's back?
Start saying it's her fault.
She's back already? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, that takes the wind out of my sails. You know that. I mean, he basically just bitches that she didn't want to have kids. And then explains that he had, like, 2 other wives, ex-wives, that had children. So he's setting up fucking franchises. He's going town to town, opening a JFG's burger joint and squatting out a fucking kid in every city in Canada. And it's the most bizarre thing. He should probably go for quality over quantity in this regard. But I mean, it's several. Like, I don't know. I'll play a couple minutes of it. I guess it's only a couple minutes.
This is that. And the thing is, she left in peace, and she left respectfully. And she left very differently than many of my exes, in that JF drunk. No, I'm not drunk at all. She left very differently from many of my exes in that she didn't try to destroy my life, and she left me with a precious package, precious package that I will care for forever. And so I'm not in a mood to start a fight. Or
I'm gonna skip past this. The gist is what I said, that he broke up with her and then said that he was gonna find Mama JF too. By the way, that is an extremely unattractive thing to say to a woman ever. You do not ever want to propose to a woman by saying, "Oh, you can be my ex-girlfriend's name too." That is immediately like, I don't know. That doesn't work. But Mama JF did not know this, and apparently, I'll listen to this. I've never listened to this before, so I'll react live.
Hello everyone and welcome to JFG tonight. Mama JF has decided to come back. She's decided to use her 24 hours opportunity. She is coming back tonight. She should arrive a few hours after this show. And I'm gonna take a break tomorrow to work with her, make some adjustments to her leash. Metaphorically, there's no actual leash. How are you guys doing on the regular chat? Now I find myself with all these women who have
Potato
been joining the
boomerang.
Wheel of Fortune contest, and I see energy, I see potential, and so I bring you Operation Save the Woman. What I'm thinking is, and it's already been happening actually, but there's lots of males in this chat who are looking for a woman. If a woman wanted to go out with me, she should want to go out with any of you because we're family here on the regular chat. And so I started pairing these women with some
Is his name, like, of his show regular chat? Is he talking about passing around his potato girlfriend with all of his viewers? What the fuck is he talking about?
The best fit members of the audience that I found. I knew already that there was a couple of you guys who had written to me, JF, I'm looking for a wife. And so knowing a little bit about you, I can find the perfect fit for you within this potential pool. And so many of you have already received, pairings. I'm going to start basically a dating service. The only thing you need to deal with, is that if you go out with any of...
Can you imagine if I did that? If I did like a Kiwi Farms dating contest, that would be bad. that would be a total fucking nightmare. The mere thought of it is like sending chills down my spine. That would be horrific. That would be a mistake. That would be a professional blunder in my fucking career.
She wanted to go out with me first. She's picking you as the second choice. I mean, to a certain extent, I was looking at a lot of these offers, and I was like, this is really not a good fit for me. She's not gonna love me. But I was like, but there's this other guy in the community. She would love him. I'm JF the matchmaker. George says, where do I sign up? Just send me an email. Send me an email about your info, and don't be insulted if I send no one toward you. Because I'm just going to pair people who I feel are made for each other. And, I'm not going to take a...
Can you imagine? I would love to have a picture of everyone who applied to this on both sides. I would love to see all the women and all the men who have unironically put forward their names for this program. I bet you that is some fucking funny shit.
I'm not gonna take a ugly woman from Canada and pair her with a fan of mine in South Korea.
Why is she ugly?
That just don't work.
Why did he stipulate that the woman is ugly and the guy only from South Korea? What is the implication there? Why not just say the distance is too far? What is he implying, that Korean people are ugly? It's not the distance, it's the fact, or are Korean people like so pretty that ugly Canadians don't touch them, or are like Koreans like below average but ugly is like too low for the average? What is he implying with that statement?
Okay. Matchmaking is a complex science.
JF looks like somebody from like a boy band in like the 90s. He kind of reminds me of the guy from Smash Mouth. I don't know how bad my memory is with that. Smash Mouth. Let's take a look here. Yeah, he does. He does. I'm not even wrong. Hold up, chat. That is pretty fucking close. You just got to give him some Ray-Bans and he'll look just like him. You know what I mean? Especially with that weird chin strap thing going on there. That's fucking ugly. That chin strap. He needs to get rid of that shit. But JF kind of looks like that.
Philip L says, "Hey JF, how is Mama JF coming back to your place? Aren't you really far from society? Is she going to drive that distance by herself? I will not reveal details of our private life, but she has been on her way since yesterday, and so yesterday night when I gave my ultimatum, so she will arrive at some point.
How did he pronounce that?
In the night. Ultimatum.
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 Sounds Latin.
So she will arrive at some point in the night.
I mean, I know they pronounce their ooh like a Russian U, like a yuk. Ultimatum. That's weird. I have to add that to my JFG impression dictionary. the weird yeah. Whatever. So he said to Mama JF, "Look, you'll come back today, or I will start fucking everybody I can." And she was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll come back today." He has like all the cards. JFG comes across as someone who's like a genuine psychopath because he purposefully seeks out mentally handicapped women that he can control completely with very simple manipulation tactics, and it works. And it's just like, yeah, this guy kind of fucking freaks me out. I don't know what his fan. That's my thing is whenever I see someone like JFG or Ralph, and I'm thinking like, okay, you know, I just like them for various reasons, right? And that's fine. I don't have to get along with everyone, but with JFG and Ralph, like, what the fuck is the audience getting out of this? What does the audience enjoy about watching this shit? The talk, the public talk, whatever the fuck his project is called, the public space. Like, what do they get out of it? Science shit. Apparently, he is educated about like biology and shit, but. I mean, watching this and submitting their name for like some kind of dating pool, like what the fuck is that? I think it's a bastard thing. You know what I mean? It's that Fight Club thing. We're a generation of men raised by women. So you have all these fucking weirdos who need like a surrogate daddy, and most people will pick out like Jim or something. The people who are like this, I need like this surrogate daddy. They'll pick out like Jim, but then you'll get ones who are like, they had like abusive mothers, so they'll pick out like a Ralph or like a JFG instead of someone like more interesting, or they'll pick up like Dick. I guess it depends on what kind of person they want to be, right? If you're like a bastard and you want like a surrogate daddy and you want to be like a LA-based comedian, you'll look up to Dick. Or if you want to be like a scientist man, you'll look up to like JFG. So you have all these people who present themselves one way, which is probably not an accurate reflection of how they actually are. And then they get all these bastards, these fatherless bastards who need a paternal influence in their 30s, who look up to them and give them money. And that's like the entire East Celeb arena, I think. You don't ever want to be like me. If any of you are out there like, oh, I want to be like Josh, no, you don't. I'm telling you right now. I mean, you're like, you just don't. Like, find someone else to look up to. I'm not an idealist of anything. Okay, I like to remind people every so often that I like the fact that I have fans. It's fun to do the show, but I'm not your friend. I'm not your daddy. I hope that you are entertained by my weekly podcast, but the truth is, I will never replace what your mother denied to you by hooking up with a retard loser. And I can't be friends with all of you, and you probably wouldn't like me. I'm very different in person, okay, to how I am on the internet. I'm very quiet, and I like to listen more than I talk. So if you think I'm like a laugh-a-minute riot or whatever in person, you're gravely mistaken. I'm just saying, go join a club. Go join the Boy Scouts or something. Join a rifling club. Join a church. Don't make your internet daddies. It's unhealthy for you. It'll lead you to a life of being unfulfilled and unhappy and giving money to people who don't give a fuck about you. Be sure to subscribe to my Gumroad, by the way. Gumroad.co/man at the internet. I'm saving up for a house. Thank you. Anyways, next one. Chantal got finger blasted on camera. Let's watch this now. Viewers crashing. Play the fucking video, goddammit. This fucking shit site can't play a fucking video. Sorry the video is so small. I can't blow it up on Linux, I don't think. Pretty sure I can't. No, I cannot. That's okay, it's just buffering anyways. You're not missing anything. Look at that little circle go. What is it with people? Jim did this too. He like finger blasted a chinky lady on a stream. He didn't have a video up, but he did it too. What is it with people getting like drunk and finger blasting on live stream?
Shrinking project. It sounds like you're cracking a whip. You guys think I'm super kinky all the time or what? What? It's just me slapping my leg.
The leg. Do you believe that, chat?
Oh, whatever. Oh my god.
I mentioned Jim finger blasting a chinky lady, and now people are angry at me for bringing that up. You guys are so sensitive. He's dead, okay? He's not coming back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to invoke his name in vain, but he ain't coming back.
A triple bogey?
Oh, she muted it there. I wonder why. She's like putting her tits on the camera. This is truly bizarre. I really did not. Someone canceled their Gumroad subscription. I just got an email for it. Wow. I'm not gonna laugh at it anymore if any more happen, just so you know. In case you're thinking about it, like, ooh, I'll cause Josh to laugh again. He'll mention it. No, I'm keeping my mouth shut about that from now on, you fuckers. Oh, and she drank gravy on stream again.
Wanted me to drink gravy. Cheers. My shirt's from. Wanted me to drink gravy.
Let's watch it again. Instant replay. Eats the chicken. Eats the chip.
Yeah.
Slop, 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 slop. What a champ! What a champion! Guzzling gravy for the entertainment of the internet at large. When I started talking about Chantal, I never thought she would end up like this. Okay. One other part of my fat woman roundup. Oh, here. Let's copy this real quick. So Amberlynn is going through a breakup right now. I have only, like I promise, this is only a couple minutes of stuff about Amberlynn because she's usually super fucking boring. Amberlynn is like it's hard to explain. She is entirely like a hate motivated watch. She is not someone that you can ever stand in any way, shape, or form. She's just, you just watch her because you actually hate her and you don't think she's funny or cute or whatever the fuck. You just want to see bad things happen to her. So she's going through the break. She's going through a breakup with what's her face, Becky, and has already found like a new woman. She's what's called a U-Haul lesbian in the female community, which means that she gets into a relationship with the first woman who lets her move into her house because she needs someone to wipe her ass, and they don't have sex anyways because they're like 600 pounds. So it's like you have these sexless, ovary, eggless, bed death lesbians who like cohabitate like permanent roommates, and Amberlynn is one of those.
Like penis.
Sorry, I skipped too much.
Okay. I don't like penis. So it's that. Like, if you have a penis, I don't want to be with you. So I don't care actually what gender you are. It's just if you have a penis in between your legs, I don't want to be in bed with you. Like that. So that's what I mean. My preference is vagina. Like, I don't know how else to explain that.
So if you're a person alive in the year 2021, you know that's very transphobic. That's super problematic. So she clarifies, and a couple minutes later.
Would you be with a pre-op trans woman? Yes. Not a wifey, isn't girlfriend, so friends with
immediately just clarifies a contradicting statement here. I don't want to be with you if you have a penis. And then someone asks, would you be with a pre-op lesbian or a transbian? And she says, yes, I would, because that's the only answer. If she says that she wouldn't, then she's a transphobe. But then immediately she clarifies again.
So you'll be with a pre-op woman, but not a man. Okay, literally, let me just answer your question. I will not be with someone if they have a penis. I just don't like penis. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay.
So it clarifies again, would be with a pre-op trans woman, but doesn't like penis. And then again clarifies this position because people are like, sweaty, what the fuck are you talking about?
A person can have a penis and identify as a woman. Exactly. That's why I'm sitting here just saying, like, a person with a penis I don't want. That's all it is. It's just a preference.
So there's another I didn't ever play this on stream, but in one of the videos before, Becky and Amberlynn are sitting together, and the super chat goes, would you date a trans lesbian? And Amberlynn, without missing a beat, without elaboration, says, yes. And then she turns to Becky and says, Becky, would you? And Becky says, what? Would you date a pre-op trans woman? And Becky goes, yes. Move on. Next super chat question. No discussion, no elaboration. So like these people are like held at gunpoint to say that they would be with a transbian. And when they clarify they don't like a penis, but they would still date a transbian, it brings up the natural confliction that transbians have a penis. It's just a feminine penis, right? So they're like, it's like a very uncomfortable thing for anyone who's like a woman, especially like a lesbian or whatever on YouTube, and they have to be like, yeah, of course, trans women are women. It's like, so would you date one? I don't like penis. It's like, well, it's a feminine penis. Well, I guess I have to. I guess I have no choice but to suck the girl dick. Otherwise, I would be a fucking bigot, and I would lose my YouTube channel, and I would get banned, right? I guess now would be the appropriate time to bring up a little graph. Because it's funny, and sure, why not? Since I'm thinking about it, since it's on my mind. This is willingness to date a trans person by gender and sex. So hetero men are the least likely to date a trans person. Apparently, some say they would date a trans man. As many people say they would date a trans man as a trans woman or both. And it's like less than like 5%, and that's like 2%. Actually, I'm wrong. Heterosexual women are the least likely to date a transsexual. And there is no interest in dating a trans woman. So men who are transsexual are the least likely to get with a heterosexual woman. I guess that makes sense. It's conflicting. It's very hard to think about because it's like almost like programmer logic, like trying to figure out what is the presentation, and then what is like the actuality with the biology. Then gay men, it starts to increase. They would fuck trans men, which is weird because they have vagumbas, right? But I guess a lot of them are like on testosterone. Like Buck Angel looks like a dude. He just has like a mangina, which is super uncomfortable to look at. And then some would, if anyone is gay and willing to date a trans woman, they're also willing to date a trans man, which is like the Dr. Slave phenomenon. Because when Mr. Garrison got a sex change operation to be a woman, Mr. Slave didn't want to be with Mr. Garrison anymore. So that's that thing. Eliminates him from this pool, I guess. Lesbian women are doubly more likely to date a transsexual. Like almost 10% are willing to date both. Or maybe like 8%. 8% are willing to date both. 8% only trans women, and 8% only trans men. And that's because lesbians have bed death, so it doesn't really matter. They don't have sex anyways. And then queers, whatever, will date whatever. But that's like these people up here, the misfits, saying would they date each other. And then a lot of them say no. Like half of them, though, say they would still prefer a non-trans person, which is very funny. They don't even want to fuck each other, is what this says. They don't even have an interest in each other. They want to be recognized by the legitimate of the sex as being of the trans community, not being trans. They want to be with people who aren't trans because they want to be seen as not trans. So this is the super straight community. Is these people, the 97% of heterosexual men and women are actually super straight. So another win for the super straight, for the black and orange fellas. Anyways, yeah, I feel bad for lesbians because they're all going to get raped by trannies, and there's nothing they can do about it because if they complain, they'll get arrested for being bigots, I guess. Sucks to be them. I think that's it. Did I forget to mention anything, chat? Is there anything left in my tabs? No. I think that might be it. I guess I can explain that I've been programming this week. I don't want to get into detail because it's all technical and stuff. I'm kind of building like a voxel thing where it's like Minecraft and data is grouped into 3D cubes, and I've been playing with that, and it's been a pretty complicated project because my ambition is to take a grid that is something like 256 squared with a depth of 3. So you're talking about 200 cubes, and they all have adjacencies, so 6 each, or between 4 and 6 each. And you're kind of communicating between them, and it's a lot of data to sort through. So the only way to do it efficiently is to do it with parallel threads, and that's a very complicated area of programming. Just kind of, maybe you'll find this interesting, even if you don't really understand programming concepts, but we're kind of nearing a physical limitation in how fast a single core can go. They approximate that due to just natural law, a single processor can only go at about 7 gigahertz per second, right? So a processor right now is at about 4, so it's not going to get too much faster. It's almost halfway there to its maximum. So the only way for processors to continue to grow and meet the demands of computer applications is to have multiple cores per CPU, which is why we get things like the AMD Threadripper that have 64 cores. They're playing with 128 cores. The future of computer programming is multi-threaded. But this is still a relatively new area of programming. So I'm playing around with that, basically. And it is complicated and it's challenging and a little bit stressful, but I'm having fun playing around with it. So I'm hoping, right now it's all just like low-level stuff. I don't have anything to show for it graphics-wise, but hopefully I will be able to show people what I'm working on in the future, but just not right now. But yeah, that's my little project. That's all I have to say about it for the moment. If I say anything more, if you're a programmer or you're trying to get into programming because you want to cut your dick off and move to Australia and become a trainee, I would suggest not becoming a programmer. I would actually suggest that you instead learn how to farm or something, because when the bombs drop and the magnets wipe out all the computers on Earth, you won't have any use for programmers, so just learn how to farm instead. But if you want an actual programming tip, here's something I've learned firsthand. If you tell people that you're working on something, it releases the same dopamine rush as actually doing it. So if I say, like, I'm going to work on this super fucking awesome game, and it's going to have all these cool features, and it's going to blow all existing games of the genre out of the water, like that kind of braggadocious shit, it stimulates the reward center of your brain the exact same way that the actual accomplishment does. So if you ever hear someone sitting there telling you about all the cool shit they're working on and how great it's going to be when they're done, they're full of shit. They're never going to fucking finish it because they're already getting off by telling you what they're working on. So if you are someone who programs or does work in general, and you have lofty ambitions, don't sit around telling people about what you're working on, because you're tricking yourself into accepting that as a reward, and it's harmful to development. At least I found in my experience. Don't do that. Anyways, okay. I'm going to throw the things up, manattheinternet.com for the archives, kiwifarms.cc for the Fediverse node, gumroad.com/manattheinternet to give me money. I promise I'll find some way to get bonus content out. I'm not too sure. I might review that movie like I said I would. I don't know. I can't figure out what would be worth showing people for money, okay? I said it. It's very difficult, because I could just slop out content and just be like, okay, here you go, you little fuckers. But anything I want to show people, I want to show everyone. So it's complicated. Give me your pigeon names. And while you suggest, I need a boy name, a girl name, and I need names for the babies. But save the baby names for next week or whenever they fucking hatch. Supposedly, it's about 3 weeks for the eggs to hatch. Give me their name. I'll look through the replay and pick one out by next week. And while you give me your pigeon names, I want to show you all something very cool. The pictures of the coins have come in. So I officially have, these are the finished products, the 0.9999 pure silver. This is what they look like. They're very fucking cool. They came out perfect. So if you want these, they're for sale, manattheinternet.com. Buy 1,000 of them. I need to buy a house. And oh, and the pigeon names, there's a lot of names. I see them. If you want an extra good chance of having your pigeon name picked, make it a comment on this video or the archive video. I'll check through the comments. I do read all your comments, by the way, so I would encourage people to leave comments, because, you know, whatever. Because if you want me to see them, I'll probably see them if they're in the comments, just so you know. I do read them. Even on the archive channel, and I tend to respond to ones that are particularly good. So I'll read through the replay, and I'll check out the comments, and I'll pick out some pigeon names for next week. Fuck you, says Blinka. That's not a good pigeon name. That's a shitty pigeon name. That's a fucking awful pigeon name, you fucker. Banana and pepper. Sneed chew. Zap to the extreme. I do read your comments. Supreme Gentleman. Shannon! Oh. I was gonna... You mean like Gator. There's another Shannon that I'm thinking of. That's like an awful fucking redneck. name them after Lovecraft's cat. I'll have to look. I don't know what Lovecraft's cat's name was. I just don't know. It's I'm not much of a Lovecraft person, so I'll have to Google Lovecraft's cat and figure out what Lovecraft called his cat, so I can potentially name my pigeon after Lovecraft's cat. That'll be my my homework for tonight. Okay. I've had this song. If you're wondering why I picked this song, because there's a feature, a person featured in it in the remix. If you're wondering why I picked this song, it's because the fact that they called that incel shooter, they convicted him of or are charging him with a hate crime, was kind of weird to me. But then it reminded me of a song called Hate Crime, and I've had it stuck in my head all fucking week. So I hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys next week. Buy my fucking silver. Subscribe on Gumroad. I want to buy a house. Bye-bye.
You want to talk about hate crimes? Yeah. I wish I could perpetrate a hate crime. I love hate. I think we need more hate. So you want to hoax a hate crime. Step number one.
All right, so we're looking for a dude who was on the subway who snatched this girl's hijab and ran away.
Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime. Hate crime. Crime.
All right,
Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Love crime. Hate crime.
we're looking for a
Black crime. White crimes are on the rise. Gay sex. Hate crime.
All right,
Hate crime. Mind crimes are on the rise. Women. Hate crime.
hijab.
Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime.
Hate crime.
Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Love. Hate crime. Use double gay. Black. White crimes are on the rise. Gay. Christian. Hate crime. Mind crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate your huge black penises. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Hate them. Hate them. And they threw bleach at me. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Hate them. Hate them. This is MAGA country. Hate them. I hate them. I hate them. They're just the worst. I hate it. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime.
Hate crime.
Julius Molius.
Hate crime.
Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Love crime. Hate crime. Black Ed Win. I hate crime. White crimes are on the rise. Gay sex. Hate crime. Sidney Poitier. Hate crime. Mind crimes are on the rise. Women. Hate crime. Justice. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime. Hate crime. Julius Molius. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Love crime. Hate crime. Black Ed Win. Hate crime. White crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Sidney Poitier. Hate crime. Mind crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime. Justice. I hate your huge black penises. And they threw bleach at me. This is MAGA country. They're just the worst. I hate it. First of all, this is MAGA country, and I've hated black people since before. We're the worst. They're just the worst. Yeah. I hate your huge black penises. Right. Hate them. I hate them. I hate them. That's what he said. Yes.
All right.
And I hate that you don't get funded. You don't get funded. There should be more. And I hate that you don't get college funding easily. First of all, there should be more. And I hate that you don't get funded. You don't get funded. There should be more. And I hate that you don't get funding. You know what I'm talking about, right?
And it's Trump's fault. 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 Trump's fault.
We're getting there. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime. I'm looking for black crime. Are on the rise. Hate sex. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Women. Hate crime. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime.
Hate crime.
Free blood guys. Hate crimes are on the rise. Hate crime. Hate crime. Country. White are on the rise. Hate sex. White Christian. Hate crimes are on the rise.
Trump's fault. 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 Trump's fault.
I wish I could perpetrate a hate crime.